Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo, and I'm here with Mark. Mark, I just have to say, happy Friday, and
Happy
it's only
Friday,
Thursday. Goddammit!
Oh my God! It feels like it would be Friday.
What a week!
It's been a long week.
It's been a long Monday. Do you know that right now it is Monday at noon? I know Ben knows that it's that it's Monday at noon.
Oh shit!
Because this show was supposed to happen at Monday at noon, and then Facebook and WhatsApp and
all
somehow
the
StreamYard
things
decides,
let us down. We pay all that money for these free services.
Hey, we actually pay for StreamYard.
We do pay.
We pay
and we weren't able, so we want. What do we want?
Forget about it. What we needed was a day
now.
off, so we got a day off, so that's good. But I just want to say what's up to everybody who's been here waiting since Monday. Ben Ireland, Mr. Tom, Anders, David Villa Martin. Who else is here? Who I saw a new Bobby Two Scoops in here, and I saw Max Tierney. Remember him? He's like the 17-year-old Leeds fan who had never his whole life had. I think so.
I don't even want to complete that sentence.
Ben, Arizona Leeds. What's going on? Good to see you guys here. So yeah, this is our Leeds show, and I know it would have made a lot more sense to do it on Monday when everybody was super stoked about Leeds getting their first win.
Yeah,
they won against Watford.
It was a win.
They won 1-0, and look, everybody was talking about needing this like huge win and statement win, and
they got neither.
I kept looking at it, and no.
They got a win.
Just like Arsenal needed a statement win against Norwich, and we won 1-0, and I told you I was okay with that. I think a lot of Leeds fans
I'm okay with
are
it.
okay with that.
They got off the snide.
That doesn't make it. That's not a. It's
a thing.
That's not a thing.
It's a thing.
Off the snide.
Off the snide.
Like
off the schneid.
Like a snipe
Off
hunt?
the schneid.
Shut up.
I just pronounced it wrong.
Let's get Squatty Mark and I out of here and talk to somebody who actually knows about Leeds United. Mr. James, get in here, my friend.
Leeds.
James
What's up,
Reeves,
James?
the
How y'all doing?
The Loof Guru of New Orleans. Good to see you, brother. How's your week been?
It's been okay, man. It's been okay. I guess the big news is the Newcastle takeover, so that's been occupying some of my attention.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? A Saudi. What is he? A prince?
No, it's the
Saudi,
like the Saudi banking consortium.
So I wonder why they decided
to
pick a championship club.
Decide to choose.
Why did they pick a championship club?
I have no idea, but my question is this: how long before Steve Bruce gets fired?
How long before they start changing Ollie in? No, I bet Conte or Conte, because he likes to come in and spend money, right?
That's right.
Anyway, so you guys in the audience, what do you guys think about Newcastle being bought up by Saudi Arabia, the country? James, you know more about Newcastle United. Talk to us about it.
Apparently it's been approved and everything. I mean, I don't know. Here's a country that doesn't treat gays or homosexuals very well. The Crown Prince was implicated in the killing of a journalist and then his dismemberment. Their human rights abuses are, well known, but again, it's all about money.
Yeah. So they will be fine with their team being raped and slaughtered on the pitch
if they lose.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Too soon?
Yeah, too soon.
Bruce, it will be a public decapitation of Steve Bruce.
No.
Yeah.
They'll fix his nose. That has got to be one of the most broken noses I've ever seen, and he got it on a match.
See, but you look at any guy with a nose that looks like that, you do not pick a fight with him, first of all.
Oh, I would never pick a fight with Steve Bruce.
First of all, I mean,
I would like drink with Steve Bruce,
a guy with that many
drinks.
broken noses. Okay, so who wins in a fist fight, Steve Bruce or Sean Dyche? After some pints. James is like, this is not a Leeds show. What are we?
I'm gonna put my money on Sean. I'm going on Sean Dyche.
Yeah. Now I'm sorry,
but it won't be. I'm not saying that Steve Bruce wouldn't get his licks in, because that's one where you just like finish your pint and you just slowly drift into the hedge a la Homer Simpson. You don't want any part of that.
Oh man, Max, I hope that's not true. Max says that he has COVID, guys.
Sorry,
but you're
brother.
a young buck.
Well,
I hope you can kick it, my friend.
Yeah.
I know he's a young guy, so he should have the what is it?
The immune system.
Immune system. All our love to you, Max. We hope you kick that quick, man.
Yeah, get well, mate. Yeah.
So, James, I know our New Orleans Saints lost this week, but your week has to have been kicked off a bit better by Leeds United getting their first win, right?
Yes, that was a relief, and a huge weight lifted off our shoulders.
So you heard Mark and I talking beforehand, and I said, like, the 1-0 win that Arsenal had over Norwich, I was fine with that because it was all about the clean sheet.
Oh, definitely.
And it was about the win. So how do you feel about it?
I know I felt really good about it, actually. I thought we played well. I mean, obviously, you know, we got to take our chances in front of the net still. I mean, we should have won that match by a lot more. We dominated that first half. I mean, that was just up and down the pitch. I mean, we had so many opportunities. And, you know, just to get one goal, you know, that was disappointing. I mean, and again, you know, against a better team, I mean, who knows what happens? I mean, Watford are pretty poor. So, but, you know, we won 1-0, clean sheet, everything. I'm fine with that. Winning ugly is okay by me.
Yeah, and Llorente was back on the pitch. He lasted a full 90, right?
He did.
He did get a little shaky. I thought he was getting injured towards the end there.
Yeah, he was. He put in a good shift. Obviously, scored the goal.
We're gonna call him. His name's Diego, right? Diego Llorente.
Yeah.
Diego Señor Cristal Llorente, which is Diego Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Because he's like freaking. He scores a goal, and I was like, "Don't hit it with your head. He's gonna get injured." His goal was actually very nice, man. His goal, the spin, and he put some power on it, falling backwards.
Yeah,
but you like to see him active.
I thought he pulled something the way he moved.
Yeah,
he scores the goal and shit, my toe.
I don't think he meant that, but then watching
he definitely did
like
mean
I don't know, he was like falling backwards. But
if I thought Dan James was fantastic. I thought Dan James
was very, very positive.
Yeah, I thought Shaq was great. I thought Shaq's had a great match. A lot of positives to take away from that, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And now with Ailing out for a while, I mean, Shags can solidify, you know, his time and at right back. It's you know, get a lot of you know, first team action there, which would be cool. And I mean, it's, you know, Firpo's getting better. I thought Firpo was solid. You know, I mean, a lot of positives.
I mean, there was definitely an improvement from Junior's part. I still don't think he's there, you know, for you guys.
Yeah, well,
I think he'll get there.
Look, he's learning on the job, right? I mean, you know, here's a guy that had very little playing time with Barcelona. He played Barcelona B most of the time he was there. He's in a new league, very different from La Liga. New team, new culture, new country, new everything. It's going to take him some time to adjust, you know. And so I was expecting,
especially in that system.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm expecting growing pains with him, you know. And I think I gave him, you know, hell, I mean, the first half of the season, I think, to grow into this position. So right now, I think
this is Dan James.
He's growing by leaps and bounds.
Firpo. Listen, a lot of people are giving Firpo shit, and I, to be honest, like, there's been a couple mistakes he's made, but a lot of the play to be able to jump into Bielsa's system, I feel like he's been doing a heck of a job, and he's going to be somebody who will be a starter consistently for you guys. It's not like you're trying to get a backup up to snuff. Like Dan James, even to me, doesn't own that position the way Firpo already owns his position. Because he has Jack Harrison to contend with.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you got to remember too, man. He's Dominican, right? I mean, not necessarily known as a football country, it's a baseball country. So it's not like it's in his genes to be a great footballer. I mean, so he's kind of having to learn, and he learned with Barcelona. He's got tremendous athletic ability. That's readily apparent. He just needs to get the mental part of the game down, get his positioning down, and understand what's expected from him in Bielsa's system. And once that happens and it clicks in his head and the game slows down for him, he's going to be a really good player. I mean, he's got the tools, the physical tools are there. It's just the other parts of it that he has to grow into.
Yeah, I think it's really funny, you know, on some of the Leeds club sites that I'm membered on. You know, they're all bitching about Junior, and they're like, "Can we get Alioski back? How do we do that?" And it's just like,
Alioski wasn't
that is sailed. He made his decision, then he kind of acquiesced a little bit, and then he made his decision. Bye.
Right.
Don't want you. It was like when Doherty left for Spurs, and then people were like, "Well, maybe we can get him back."
No,
like,
but guys, listen, Alioski literally wore the number 10 shirt, and he's playing right back, left back, right back.
Yeah, he's more. Yeah, Alioski was more of a wing back. Yeah,
he's a wing back. So saying,
but you do miss the swagger.
That's what I miss. So anyone who's saying like Alioski is who we miss. Alioski, you didn't have on the pitch for his pure skill. You had because he ran his ass off.
Yeah,
he could take a shot every now and then, and he's gonna piss people off. He's a wind-up
and then he's
merchant.
gonna give you one of those.
and you know what? Leeds fans love that. They love that shit.
Yeah.
So, I actually watched some of the ALTV, All Leeds TV. I think Oscar posted it of him just in the crowd, and they showed as much of the chanting as they could. The video is like 15-20 minutes long, and it's just the chants of the crowd. It was fantastic to watch, because you get all the good chants and then all the bad chants, and then Danny Rose comes over at one point, and the fans all start yelling at him, and he's yelling at them back like that. And then he scores, or he kicks, he puts the corner in, and the goal goes in. And everyone's like gets quiet, and then you hear, "You still suck, you still," like whatever the chant was. But that was fantastic to watch as well.
The atmosphere at Ellen Road is second to none. You know.
Yeah.
I've now said that so many times. Fantastic.
I actually completely forgot that the Nations League semifinal, Belgium versus France, it's 2-2 right now. France just got a penalty. So Michelangelo just scored. Anyway, to see who plays Spain.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tell you, that might just that's a little beautiful
lens flare.
Yeah. I like
but
that.
I was. I think like I said, I think Firpo's gonna make good. I mean, I think it's gonna be all right. It's just a matter of the growing pains, you know. And I think that we do kind of miss, Alioski's runs. He had a good relationship with Harrison. And so we do miss his overlapping runs and that sort of thing. But I think that Firpo will learn again. I mean, he's got to develop some chemistry with either Dan James or Jack Harrison, whoever plays over there with him. Once they develop chemistry, because that's been changing. It was Harrison, now it's James. Firpo needs to kind of adjust to that, but I think he'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so as well. Now talk to me about Dan 24. James.
No, he's 24 years old.
That's fantastic. Talk to me about Dan James. Is Dan James ever going to get a penalty decision? Or does he deserve any?
Not when he cries like that. If he just sits there and because he's got that Ronaldo thing where he's like, "Come on, where's my?"
I mean, he's gotten clattered. I mean, you know how I hate all that.
Hey,
I think.
But I think in that particular situation, I think
there were two.
I don't think there was a penalty there.
Two in the last two matches, two could have been called.
Because
40
seconds later, Cooper on Josh King could have been called, and that wasn't called either. So at the time, they were calling it pretty
the goal
even.
Off. They called the goal off. I was shocked that they called the goal off.
That's why I'm saying, I want to tell the Leeds fans is that it's a win. But that's all it is, because y'all got lucky you didn't end up with a draw.
Win and a clean
sheet. Hey. Can I quickly register a complaint?
Yes, you can.
Okay, and it's about Mark's shirt. All right, I understand the sentiment involved. I really do. I don't appreciate the fact that two of those players are scum players. I just don't appreciate that. Club before country. Club before country, Mark. Come on, get it right.
Well,
for fuck's sake.
I wasn't gonna wear. It's a Leeds show, so I wasn't gonna wear my Wolves jersey. At least I thought of you.
So you wore a shirt where 2/3 of the names are scum players.
I'm wearing a shirt of 3 players that have been unfairly given some stick.
Right.
And a hell of a lot more. Because all they remember is what they did in the last game. They don't remember everything they did leading up to it.
So when are you gonna get a Rangers Kamara shirt? Because he's gotten the shit. He just played a match against who is it, Slavia Prague or some team Slavia Prague, where literally they held a sign before and went on Facebook, Instagram that said Kamara is just an N-word.
Nice.
Did like a photo shoot of
That's
it.
awful.
And they were banned from allowing any fans in, and they made a deal that said, okay, we'll let 10,000 kids under 14 because they're not assholes. They came in literally every time he touched the ball, he got booed and racist chants chanted at him. So these guys had a hard time for a day. But that dude plays for Rangers in Scotland, and he's in Prague getting that. So I'm just saying
that goes back to last season. When Rangers played like either Sparta or Slavia, one of the two.
Yeah,
there were racist issues there as well. I think Kamara
came up and whispered something in his ear, and it was crazy.
Those Eastern European teams they're nothing to mess with, man. I mean, they're having been in Budapest for a while, I know the nature of the beast when it comes to Eastern European teams. And it's I live right down the street from Ferencváros Stadium, and those fans are nuts.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. So speaking of international, are any Leeds players playing internationally right now?
Joffrey's with the England, I think, under 21 team. So he's with them. I think it's Euro under 21 qualifying, something like that. And then of course Calvin pulled out, so he's good with the calf strain. So hopefully that's just minor.
That's not good. Let's hope it's a short-lived one.
Yeah, and then we have I think we have a bunch. Yeah, I think we have a bunch actually with the under 21s. But Joffrey got his first call up with them, so that's good.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully the calf strain is not much, and he's back at full strength for Wolves next week. Or not for Wolves, for
Southampton.
For Soton, and then Wolves the following. So
and also you kind of hope it's him just going, can I sit this week out, guys? We don't have to go. We're not in the Nations League, frickin' semifinals or whatever this nonsense new tournament is. Everyone's like, oh, Spain's in the final. Spain beat Italy, and I'm like, in what? What is this brand new competition and that they're calling a major tournament?
I think Raphinha is sitting out the Brazil. Sitting out from the team because of his injury. I don't think he's with the Brazil squad right now.
Yeah,
I hope he's not.
Yeah, I think I know he made the flight over there. I think he's over in Brazil, but I don't know if he's actually playing with them or not. I always forget about it. I'm just concentrating on England. I always forget about the other players.
Right.
Internationally now, but it's Raphinha. I don't know. I don't know what his status is with the Brazilian team. I'm not really following the South American qualification very much because my team is out of it. Chile is out of it, so that's that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Chile is your South American team. Why?
Yeah, because I have family in Antofagasta. It's a city in the north of Chile. So I was a Bielsa fan before Bielsa came to Leeds because of what he did at Chile. I mean, he's like he's a guy. He's like a god there. So he took them to new heights. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you do look a little Chilean, I would say.
Mm-hmm. They aren't from They are not
It's in
from
the
Chile.
jawline.
It's in the jawline. It's
Yeah,
definitely-
yeah.
It's
They're
in
not
your
from Chile originally.
spiciness.
Chile is a very diverse country, Nick. It's a very diverse country.
I understand that it's a super long country, and
Yes.
it has like all of the climates, doesn't it?
Has
it has
all the
like,
Yeah.
climates. Yes.
Yeah.
It has what is known as a Mediterranean climate, a maritime climate, and a continental climate. Those are your climates.
I forgot
Yeah.
what we were even
There
talking
you go.
about. Okay, so
Watch for football and get a geography lesson.
That's it.
you
Yeah.
should hear us talking about
Y'all are
England
surprised
these
I
days.
know these things.
You should hear
Yeah.
you should hear us talking about England these days, where we're like, well, they're Northerners, and people are like, I didn't even know. So whatever team is in the North, we're like, yeah, we know a little bit about geography
Just
of
a little
England
bit.
now. If they have a Premier League team, if they don't, we don't know where the fuck they are.
Exactly. Well, the football team in Antofagasta is in the Chilean Primera Division, so they're in the first division along with Universidad Católico and Colo, those teams.
Colo, yeah, I remember them.
Mhm.
Cool. So, James, looking forward to next week, not this coming weekend, but we have a whole week to look ahead to this. You guys are coming up against Southampton, right?
Yes.
And one of their most dangerous players will not be on the pitch, right?
Exactly.
He got a red card, Mr.
Yeah.
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, the player who took Calvin's
such a
spot
weak
on
red
the England
card.
team.
It was a second yellow, wasn't it?
I think it was straight red.
Straight red? No way.
Anybody confirm or deny that out
I
there?
thought it was a second yellow because it was so weak.
I thought it was a straight. I thought it was a straight red.
What are
Very well could be.
What are you looking forward to in that match?
Well, first of all, just to see if Calvin's healthy.
I am godly.
What is happening?
We're getting a reflection off the window, and it's giving
Yes.
us a lens flare, which is
And
making me...
it's quite the sundog.
Yeah. It's
I'm
great. It's very
glowing today. I am
yes.
glowing. You
yes.
can tell I'm not drinking alcohol because I'm pregnant.
Anyway, so it was a straight red. Ben Ireland says it was a straight red. You know what?
3 games.
2 scoops. You're right. It was a yellow. It went to VAR, and he came back and gave him a red, which I thought was garbage.
And the whole argument was it's not even a yellow.
I don't think it was a yellow at all, but yeah, that's gonna be a tough slot to fill for Southampton, a Southampton team that's already struggling to win games.
Yeah.
What's
up,
but
Arsenal, Alex?
they get tough draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I said, Ward-Prowse took Calvin's spot on the England team.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait, for this weekend? This week?
Yeah.
On a quick side note, by the way, guys, whenever we're like our show is rich and famous, and we're like be able to pay people, we have to get Bobby on as like our like. Bobby doesn't even like our show. He just comes on to correct us. So eventually we'll have to get him on the payroll.
He'll be our Kramer.
Oh yeah, I was like, Kramer is never correct.
No, he's never.
He'll be very busy. He'll be an extremely
very busy
person.
That's why we had to finally let Najee be on the show, because it was like, stop sending me emails with all the corrections of all the things I got wrong, and just be on the show. But yes, hey, what's going on, Only Football fans? I'm assuming that's probably Terry. What's going on, Terry? If you guys haven't seen it, Only Football Fans is now streaming live stream shows. You can get in on that. We love them. They're like our brother
Of the football.
Our brother
thing.
channel, brother, sister, family.
Our
whatever.
sister channel.
We're all part of the Only
Terry,
Football
You're
Fans.
our sister channel.
Um,
We love you, Terry, man. We love you.
talking about?
Good show the other day.
All right.
It is Terry. Good to see
All
you.
right. Focus, fellas. Focus.
Sorry.
Getting back to what I'm looking for in the next match, in the Southampton match. Continued improvement from Firpo. capitalizing on our chances in front of net. I'd like to see us score, maybe 3 goals on them. That'd be nice. Shaq's filling in for Ailing again. See how he does back there. He did really well against Watford.
Mm-hmm.
And and then of course Calvin. Yeah, I mean Calvin. I think one person said that he thinks that Calvin's the typical. I'm injured, need to pull out, and but I'm getting ready for the next match, the next club match.
Right.
So maybe I don't know. It might be just something minor. That's what I think it is. I mean, if they haven't said anything more about it, I think it's a minor. If anything, it's a minor injury. So yeah. I think we'll be fine. I'm looking forward to everybody coming back from their national duty healthy. Raphinha hopefully doesn't play for Brazil, so he comes back fully fit and ready to go. And again,
are there other injuries that you guys are looking to have, or other players that were injured that are looking to come back? Is Bamford going to be coming back for Southampton?
I think they said for Patty, I think they said 3 weeks, right? I think it was 3 weeks.
More weeks?
Yeah.
3 total weeks.
3 total weeks, I think. So I think it's going to be like 2 weeks, 2 weeks after the international break. So maybe Wolves, maybe, but I think more likely to get the match after that. So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we should be. Was that?
Go ahead.
No, I think the more troubling injury, of course, is Koch. I don't know what the whole pubis thing. I don't know I don't know how long what sort of recovery that entails. And then
I would expect him back at like Boxing Day. I mean, he's going to be out for a while.
And then Bill, I don't know what's up with Bill either. So, I mean, that could be like a knee sprain or something along those lines. So I don't know how long he's going to be out. I could be wrong on that, but I thought it was a knee problem, but.
I had heard knee, and I also heard that there was like a bit of minor surgery involved.
Okay.
Well, read.
Right.
I can't say that I heard it, but I read it.
Yeah.
I want to say I read it, but you read so many things.
There's so many
different places, and that is that's actually Paul H. That was something that I wanted to ask about was, the injury to Dallas. Is that something that was just a knock, or is that something a little more serious? Because that's a guy, along with Ailing, that any sort of time being out is definitely going to hurt y'all.
Yeah. Oh no doubt about it. Yeah. Yeah. We need Stewart in there, and we need him healthy. If he's out for an extended period of time, then you're going to see a lot of juggling in that midfield. I don't know if that means you move Shax up to Dallas's position, and then maybe bring in Drame to run at right back. I don't know. I mean, Drame, I think is going to see some time this year. We'll see.
Yeah. So I want to ask you guys, and I'm talking to all you Leeds fans who are in the audience right now.
Najee.
Najee says
it's
remember
an
the name
MCL.
Genepo.
So Bobby is saying it's an MCL for Bill. So I don't know. Yeah. That's going to be a while.
It's going to be 6 to 8 weeks for.
Yeah.
I'm assuming when you say Bill, you're meaning Ailing and
yes,
not somebody else.
Mr. Bill.
Bill.
Well, he got hurt.
No, can I ask you guys what do you think about Jamie Shackleton? Like, because he's a little guy. And when you need think about playing the Burnleys and I think I would like to say Southampton, but they got rid of a lot of their monster players. Is he strong enough to be a main part of your back four? Like, I do like the way he presses forward. I do like, he seems more like a midfielder than a right back or a left back, or I guess he's a wing back. But when you need him to be defensive, is he strong enough?
I think he is. I think what I've noticed about him as far as his stature and his size is that he's not as easy to push off the ball than some other kind of smaller. Shackleton. Yeah, I don't think he's that. I think he's a lot tougher than his size might.
He's like my size. He's like 5'.
Yeah, no, he fucking.
I'm 5'12", by the way.
He's not easy to knock off the ball. He's not easy to harass. Where you have someone, look, the Wolves have a pocket rocket in Daniel Podence, but if you catch him right, you're going to knock him off the ball. And I just
rocket.
That's what they call him. I don't know why.
It sounds like you're playing pocket pool.
That's a whole different broadcast, ladies and gentlemen.
But I love from Terry, by the way. It's pronounced Shackleton. He also pronounced it Shackleton. Shackleton.
I think what
à la française, Shackleton.
No, I was gonna say no. I think what Shaq brings to the table is his energy and his quickness. I mean, I think that's what it is. He's a, and I think that for his size. I'm concerned with. I think that's for his size. I think he's a physical player, though. I think for his size, he mixes it up. He's not afraid. He's fearless out there. So I like what he brings to the team. I think I don't know, as a starter, I'm not sure, but I think as a bench player, I think he's really valuable. But someone asked a question of our cornerbacks. What cornerback pairing would I put back there? Center back pairing, if everyone is healthy. And I'm going with Llorente and Strike for that, or Stroud. Yeah. So it's center back.
And clearly, Luke would start over Shackleton.
Yes, for the time being.
For the time being.
Yeah.
I lost my Halo, and James got it.
Yeah, I think Bill
got you. What the fuck? Sorry, it was biting your
smack your ear with your monitor in it.
Sorry,
and let me drive it even, and then I will wipe it on your clean.
It's your blood. It's your blood.
You bastard, James. Tell me a scary story. Because that looks like James, what you're about ready to do. I joke.
The reason I'm mentioning
it's still with this light. This light is really distracting me in my house too. It's
I know you got to get a lot closer
coming through one of the transom windows.
Yeah.
So it's really strange. It's a strange effect.
It is. You look very intense right now. It's pretty like the Blair Witch, is what John says. Just because there was a vast difference from seeing Cresswell, who I thought was Shackleton size, and then he started, and I was like, "Who's this fucking giant white dude? Who's kind of fast too? Like, who is this guy?" Yeah. And then so I thought he would start, and then he doesn't start. Who starts for him is Shackleton. Cousin Larry Shackleton.
Well, I think there's going to be. I think there's going to be more clarity next season as far as the center back position is concerned, because I think you're going to see probably I think Coops this might be his last season with us, and then you're going to see other players kind of get moved around. There'll be more clarity back there then. I think Cresswell is obviously a player for the future. I mean, he's tremendous. So he has amazing ability. I love Coops, but let's face it. I mean, you get to 30 and you got to start making decisions. You know what I mean? And so a lot of these players, unfortunately, we love them, but we're going to have to bid them farewell because they've reached that point. I mean, the managers throughout Leeds history done the same thing. I mean, 30 years old, it's like, and then Shankly did it at Liverpool. I mean, 30 years old is always like that cutoff point. You call them into your office and you say, all right, what are your plans for the future? Where do you want to be? You want to coach? I can set you up, try to help them out. But at the same time, it's like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to get your last big contract from? You have one, maybe contract, left in you. Where do you want to go? And I think that's sort of what happened, with Alioski was, look, he probably wanted more, years than Leeds was willing to give him. But Leeds is like, look, you're 30 years old now,
Yeah. I had read that it was that Alioski wanted way too much money, and then this team that Leeds hates signs him. And was that true? He signed with some team that Leeds.
No. He went to play in Saudi Arabia.
Ah, okay. What's the team I'm thinking?
No, Galatasaray. Galatasaray didn't sign there. He was also.
But that's where he was going to sign, right?
Yeah.
So, Bobby says this. Bobby says Cooper is a leader, though. Can't really say the same for the other center backs. And is that something that's why Coops is still there, and that's why he starts. It's
sure. I mean, look,
to me, you have better center backs, but when he's on the pitch, he's a captain, isn't he?
Yeah. Coops is the captain. He's the captain, and he's been a great captain for us, and he is a leader, both in the clubhouse and out on the pitch. But again, I mean, eventually you're going to have to bring other people up. And I think Cresswell is a budding leader too. I mean, you can tell when Cresswell was in there. I mean, he was taking charge. I mean, he was barking out, commands, and he was back there, positioning people. I mean, Cresswell knows what he's doing. I mean, I think Cresswell's ready personally. I think he can come in right now. But they're going to give him a little bit more seasoning and see what happens,
So do you think it's more of a match by match, like a opponent based if Shackleton or Cresswell start?
Yeah, well, I think now it's based upon injury for the most part, and I think as long as Coops is healthy, and I think Coops is playing well. I have nothing against his, how he's playing right now. I think he's playing well. I think it's going to be Coops and Llorente back there. I think that's who Bielsa feels comfortable with, and then of course with Shackleton, I think it's just a matter it's a matter of time until Ailing returns, and Shax will give up that position again. I think Ailing will be again. Bill will be playing there. So, I think that's the way it's going to work. I mean, Bielsa's comfortable with certain people. He's and I think the comfort level for him is really important. He needs to trust all the players he puts out there on the pitch. You know what I mean? I mean, he's got their. I mean, Bielsa, you have to earn his trust, and once you've earned his trust, you have to keep his trust. And these players have done that. They've earned his trust, and they've kept it for since Bielsa's been there, and that's important to him. And it should be important to him. Eventually, it's going to have to sort of, because of injury and what have you, and depth issues, he's going to have to take some chances on these younger players, and we're going to see how they perform. And I think so far, I mean, Cresswell looked fantastic. Somerville, we really didn't get a lot of time with, so we don't really know how good he is yet. But Cresswell is tremendous,
Yeah.
So my question on that is, as far as like earning Bielsa's trust, keeping Bielsa's trust, does Rodrigo still have Bielsa's trust? Because I haven't seen much out of him, and a very, very spirited last 15 minutes by Tyler Roberts. Has Tyler Roberts earned that trust and is going to be moved into that spot if we don't see Paddy Bamford back with Southampton or maybe even the Wolves?
Yeah, I mean, I think Rodrigo's another one we could see depart after this season. I mean, he's 30 years old. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he may be, heading back to Spain after the season. It wouldn't shock me.
I was not impressed with him.
Bielsa comes out consistently and defends Tyler Roberts. So while people, slate him and slag him off on Facebook and on the internet, Bielsa seems to have confidence in him and thinks he's a good player who can contribute. So, we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, I thought he came in and did really well against Watford.
Yeah. Definitely.
So let's talk about that. Let's look at Southampton, and there are some question marks. So let's say Bamford is out. You're going to have Rodrigo up front on the right. I mean, Raphinha up front on the right for sure. Then the question is Rodrigo, Tyler Roberts, Dan James, Jack Harrison. So across the top, who do we have there? I mean, Raphinha's out on the right. What is your setup, James? Like, what do you go with? And Mike Luke is asking essentially the same thing. Is it Dan James or Jack Harrison? And pair that with Mark's question of Rodrigo and Tyler Roberts. So let's specifically look at Southampton, this matchup.
Okay.
How do you start your attack? Or who do you start in your attack?
I go with Dan James on the left. I would give Roberts a start just to see what he can do. I think Soton would be a good spot for him to do that. You have a team that, has a few people, has a guy suspended, they're not doing very well. I would think that maybe, this might be an opportunity for Tyler to get a start. I mean, I would do it and see what happens. And who knows? But then I I would keep Rodrigo in though as a striker, and then I would have Raphinha. Those would be my front four.
So you'd have Rodrigo up front and
Roberts
right behind him.
Roberts playing a false nine behind him, or the other way around, or Roberts playing striker, because Roberts sees himself as a number 9. Right, they can switch throughout. But Roberts sees himself as a number 9. I mean, he came out and said that. I mean, he visualizes himself as a number 9. So maybe give Roberts a shot in that position and have Rodrigo play like a false 9 behind him. With Raphinha and Dan James on the wings.
Oh, look, Mr. Thomas saying it'll be both Dan James and Harrison against Southampton. Raphinha will be playing for Brazil the day before.
I don't like that, but maybe what's going to happen. Huh?
If he does, that's fine too. I mean, Dan James can play, right wing, and Jack can go back to his position at left wing.
Interesting. We're going to have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to do some research for next week's fantasy football
Najee, can
show.
you do some work for us?
No, because if Raphinha's out for fantasy football as well, that's gonna be tough.
I don't have him on my team. Probably why I suck so bad. I did join fantasy,
like in week 7.
It took me forever to find. I'm like, fine, I'll do it.
Anyway,
and it actually was fun. I wish I would have done it sooner.
So James, something that I've heard a lot and thought myself a lot is that just seeing the way that Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips really started to pair well together playing for England, and really you could tell they were having a lot of fun. Who in the world would you bring over to Leeds United to be that pairing with Calvin Phillips? Do you think you need that? Do you think that's needed, first of all? And yes or no, but who would be your ultimate pick to bring into the Leeds United team in that position?
To pair with
Calvin? I feel like Calvin Phillips does an incredible job, but he could use some help. He could use some help. Really, and then when because he does like to get forward, he does like to get back, but having that balance, I thought is what made Declan Rice, and it made England even more dangerous, is because you didn't know who they were both playing off of each other, going forward and back. So, what do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I think that a lot of it is Paddy being out. I think when Paddy's healthy, I think Paddy tracks back so well, does so well on the defensive side of things, that Calvin's fine back there. Going back and forth by himself. I don't know. Without Paddy, then you have, of course, Cleach and Stewart, who have to cover for Rodrigo's defensive issues. But I thought Rodrigo did better last match defensively. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we need anybody in that position. I don't know who I'd pair him up with, to be quite honest with you.
No, nobody.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody.
I'd rather see us invest in more of a central attacking midfielder. Center mid with more attacking prowess.
Because if you look at a match like West Ham, for example,
right,
you guys were not okay with the draw.
Right.
You thought the game was yours, and you went for it. And who goes for it the most is fucking Calvin Phillips. And he starts helping the press and moving forward. And what happens? You're not covered in the back. And two of your young guys make young guy mistakes. That's a moment where I saw for England, especially when Calvin would start running forward, you would see Declan would pull back, and Declan can cover that. That's where I say he needs some support there. So maybe it is a more attacking midfielder, like a CDM who has an attacking side, because that's really what Calvin is. Calvin's a CDM, who loves to get forward and help. and be a part
Yeah.
of it. So
See, I would
guess,
like a player like Emile Smith-Rowe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To pair up with him.
Yeah.
I think he's got a long way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. But eventually. I like Emile Smith-Rowe. I like his potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot to like about that kid.
Yeah. But I think we have the guy in our under 23s who's going to end up taking that spot, and that's going to be Lewis Bate. Bielsa's been, speaks in glowing terms of Lewis Bate. Just how he's just improving every match. How his level of quality is tremendous. I think you're going to see Lewis Bate there, maybe as early as the second half of this season. Definitely by next year. Definitely by next season. Yeah. I think we're into developing players. I just don't think we're going to splurge the money on on a central midfield. We could have done that this past transfer window and didn't. So I think that we feel somewhere along the line, that we have someone in our under 23s who has the quality to be that guy. I think right now Lewis Bate might be that guy. And then of course we have Adam Forshaw, who's always hurt too. He's another.
Well, let's see him. As an Arsenal fan, I was unsure about Emile Smith-Rowe, and there's still times where I'm like, he's just a little too young. I see the quality. I see it. It's all there. He's just a little young, and I see you guys, Leeds United, being a lot more careful. Somerville came in, and I was like, where the fuck did this guy come from? I didn't know you had this guy. He's like a little mini Raphinha there.
That boy good.
What is he doing? Why is Tyler Roberts coming on? And when you have this guy, not that they do the same thing, but I feel like Arsenal pushed Emile Smith-Rowe out, and you guys are holding your younger players close to the chest. Even Cresswell, I thought Cresswell
don't want to get rated by the league.
Well, Cresswell played once, and I was like, Arsenal should buy him immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm sure 5 other teams were like, we should buy him immediately. So maybe that's why you're not. I don't know, but
I think a lot of factors play into that, right? Obviously, under 23 level, very different from Premiership level. There's a gigantic gulf between the two. Number 2 is, I think, like with any sport, you don't want to rush a player out too soon before they're ready for that.
That's what I'm worried about. Emile Smith-Rowe.
That time out on the pitch. Yeah,
actually, I'm more concerned about Saka.
Saka as well. Saka was even earlier.
Yeah. So there's danger in that. If you want to wait, I think you want to wait. You want to play these young players, but there's been throughout history, there have been instances of players, in their mid-teens, playing. Rooney. For Leeds, Peter Lorimer, right? I think Peter Lorimer got his first start when he was 16 or 15, something ridiculous like that. It's crazy. So, there's precedent there for players to get playing time with the first team in their teens. It's still somewhat rare, but I think we have some players who are ready. I just think they need playing time. I think you're going to see more of them play, obviously, during our cup matches. I think it's important that we progress in the cups, just to see, who we can play and mix in with the first team to see what kind of chemistry there is and get them some significant playing time,
Yeah. So speaking of the cups, do you think Bielsa has his mind on making a cup run because you guys have been so shit in cups? FA Cup, Carabao, all that shit.
Yeah, I think the intent is there because you saw the teams we fielded, the size we fielded for the cup so far, is a strong side. So I think that the intent is there for us to make a run, but I think that Bielsa is kind of thinking the same thing that I'm thinking too, is that you get the added benefit of seeing some of these young players play significant time. And that's important, because of depth issues, because apparently that's the way Leeds has decided to do things. Leeds has decided not to splash around, tens of millions of dollars, right? Or tens of millions of pounds. They've decided basically, look, we're going to develop players. We're going to bring them up through our academy system, and then we're going to put them out on the pitch when they're ready. and that's the way we're going to grow, at least initially for the next few years. And we'll see how it works. But I think it's.
Via Martin said essentially this same exact thing. He just said Leeds' plan is to survive while recruiting and developing the under 23s into the first team over a couple of seasons. We said this last season. Bielsa and Rads and the entire Leeds United staff, I feel, not that they could give a shit, but really they could give a shit about the next 3 years as long as they stay up.
Yeah.
To them, it's a 5 or 10 year plan. It's about being perennial Champions League, Europa League within the next 10 years, becoming perennial, re-becoming. That's not a word. Becoming
it is now.
Again.
It is now.
Getting back to being perennial European.
And look, let's say Calvin wants to sign a new contract.
And good evening, Jimmy. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah. So let's say Calvin wants to sign a new contract. Let's say that Leeds, puts in there an 80 to 100 million quid release clause. Some team will pay that. Eventually, just like they did with Grealish.
Will pay that.
Some team will pay it. So when they pay it, but no, that's scum. Oh, God, no.
Somebody.
But
it's just going to happen. I mean,
yeah.
You watch your absolute quality players become your money players, and there becomes a number where you're like, would you do that again? I swear to God, on camera.
The mosquitoes are bad.
I don't care about the mosquitoes. My hat.
Red card. Yes, red card. Definite red card for that. But no, I think
you lost your point. I'm sorry.
But it's like I said before. Current players don't want to hear about 5-year plans. You know what I mean? Because they're looking down the road. They're looking at their careers and they're saying, "Oh well, when that happens, I'll be 29. I'll be 30 years old." So you're going to have players who are going to be, who are not going to stick around for that, and that's understandable. And we'll wish them well, and we'll send them on their way, and hopefully sell them for a lot more than what we purchased them for. So, make a profit, then invest it in the club. I mean, kind of like what Leicester's done. And and then we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I think that's the plan. And then we develop these young guys. These young guys have been, they take the place of the departed players, and we move on. And and I think that's right now, at least until we start, looking at certain key players departing. I mean, I think that's the way we're going to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you see teams that have success with that model. Brentford comes to mind.
Yeah.
How many stars on that? How many players on that team have been sold and become stars elsewhere?
Yeah.
One?
I
thought it was like at least 2.
I don't know.
But if you're getting $50-60 million for each.
Was it Ben Rama?
Is it Ben Rama? I don't know.
Yeah, Ben Rama, Watkins.
Southampton, I think Ollie Watkins as well.
Ollie Watkins,
Southampton
definitely
goes into your theory as well.
You know,
Southampton,
just
Virgil van Dijk,
yeah,
Danny Ings.
You know, so
Brentford has
you will secure your future by selling off. Look, man, we've got these really great players, and we might dip down for a year. But then we're gonna be financially secure to be able to future stay up.
Well, Brentford has a unique model in that Brentford does not have an academy. So they have they have a developmental team. So what they do is they did away with the academy. So they just said, okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to buy players, we're going to develop them. And these players are going to contribute to our club, because what's the use in going out and buying even young players who will never play for us, who will end up selling or they'll end up leaving, whatever. So there's no, so they have a unique model. The guy who owns the club is Danish. I think he also owns Midtjylland in Denmark. And
he's all about sports betting and stuff as well.
He uses them as his petri dish. So he kind of like tinkers with the way they do things. Then he applies that to Brentford. I mean, Brentford's a unique case. That's why we always look at them and go, where are all these players coming from? They're coming from their developmental team. They don't have an academy, so they're not taking these guys from the time that they're
Stuart Dallas comes from there.
7 years old, and developing them all the way up through the under 18s and under 23s. They're not doing any of that. So they're just going out and buying guys that they can develop. They can develop into being first team players.
No, I think you guys are, like somebody said here, Alligator Blood said, do a Chelsea and have 200 players out on loan. One should turn good. I think do what Chelsea do, which is get young kids, develop them, get them to do Bielsa's system, and then fucking sell them. 10 million here, 10 million here. Chelsea sells people for 10 million that you've never heard of, that nobody's ever heard of. Every year they sell people to other clubs for like
don't
10
sell
million.
People, they sell players. Just so
Players
nobody
are not
thinks.
People?
Well,
I would not be surprised if Chelsea are part of the human trafficking, because that is how highly I think of Chelsea's ownership.
But no, Leeds just came out today that Leeds is after this kid from Espanyol. His name is like Mateo Hernandez, I think. But anyway, he's a striker. He's like 17 years old. So, but apparently he's being pursued by Man City and by Barcelona. But he's as a player with Espanyol, he's 1.5 million euros. I mean, it's a guy that that you bring in, see what he does. I mean, why not? For 1.5, I think we offered something like a third of that for him. But we'll see.
Okay, guys, so we're just about done for the day here. So if you have any questions for James, please get them in here. Now is the time to get your questions in. I'm sure the dogs have to get their walks. The Jameses have to get their beers. And Mark.
And I'm going out to eat tonight.
My 6-pack.
Good on you.
I'm going to get my steak on tonight, man.
Nice.
Oh, delicious.
Nice.
Delicious.
So I have a question for you. What are your feelings? Speaking of Brentford, the Bees, what are your feelings on Pontus Jansson? He's having a good season.
He is. Look, I wish Pontus well. I mean, he was a great player for us. He was kind of, Alioski, I guess. Kind of before Alioski, maybe. They might have. Yeah, there was some crossover, but still, I mean, he was very passionate. He was a lot of antics, but I liked him. He played hard. He just ran afoul of Bielsa.
Oh, is that what happened?
Pretty much.
I would not want that. I would not want to be someone and suddenly I'm on Bielsa's bad side.
Listen,
he looks like the nicest guy. When you kind of see him and he's like engaged with the opposing team's manager, and there's like this almost smile where it's like, okay, yeah, he's good. You'd have a drink with him. He might not say much. He'd if he had something to say, he'd say it, and but he'd be okay. It's just when he got stern with you. See, look at that. That's a guy I want to have a drink with.
Mark.
I would not want to piss him off.
I think you and I have very different opinions of who Bielsa is as a person, because he does not seem like the nicest guy at all. I would love to sit by a campfire and have some yerba mate or whatever he wants.
I don't want to sit out in the wilderness. He would fucking cut my teeth out and leave me for
as soon as you say something bad, he's going to make you run a lap in the dark. Like, no.
You cross me, that's a paddling. He's like,
he sat on the cup.
I'll see what I have to deal with.
We have some other questions here for you, James. So, first off, from Steve Garner, hello, fellas. Good to see you. What position will we finish, James?
I said initially, somewhere like 7 or 8. I think 12, 11 or 12.
Now, last year you nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Last year you absolutely nailed it. So
yeah, I think 11 or 12. I think we'll finish a little bit lower, but not much.
Yeah, I don't think there's a top 10 finish in you this year.
Okay. James,
At least, but who knows? I mean, I just said the same
Exactly.
thing last year, top 10. So.
Exactly.
Do you
I think
think
I think we can finish anywhere from 7 to 12.
7 to 12?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right with the 11 to 12. I think it's going to be a dip from last year. You'll still stay up, and you'll be better the following season.
But again, you just
honestly,
never
I think where you end up, if you only end up 11th or 12th, I think that Leeds would be very, very happy to be like, all right, a little dip, but not anything severe.
No, I would be elated. I would be elated. I'd be elated anywhere from 10 to 15. I'm fine with that.
Anywhere. Okay. Should Rads get off of Twitter?
I follow him on Twitter. I do. I think it may be a good idea. Yeah. I think he probably has a couple glasses of wine and he does what I do and he gets on Twitter and then he makes ridiculous statements. Like a lot of us do, I think. So yeah.
Or I think he's like.
Although I find him amusing, so I'm okay with it.
He's the general manager or the owner or the head of operations?
Owner.
Okay. James, what is score prediction? Southampton.
Yeah, Ben wanted a score prediction. I'm gonna go with 2-0. I think we get a second straight clean sheet, and I think we add a goal somewhere. So I think 2-0.
I'll say that as well. 2-0. That sounds good to me. Mark disagrees.
Look
with his face.
Now, granted, there's no Ward-Prowse, and that's a big loss. But man, Southampton sure is good getting them single point draws. I'm going 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting on the fence.
I hate that team.
I know.
James, what is the better sitcom, Parks and Rec or Community?
Community until the last season. The last season, the Community blew. Like actually,
where they went all crazy
when they lost. Before then, when they lost Glover, that I felt the show kind of nosedove. But I love the fact that they actually wrote. Who was Glover's character? What was his name? He goes off.
Abed in
the morning. Anyway, he goes off with LeVar Burton to sail around the world, and I guess it was just a ticker tape on the TV, and it read that him and LeVar Burton's boat was commandeered by pirates, and that they just had
So how can you say that's not the better show?
Never be seen.
That is clearly the better show.
Never to be seen again.
James,
it's
have
the
you
better
seen
show
those?
until the last season. After Donald Glover leaves, it's terrible.
Have you seen those shows, James?
Yes, I have. I'm a Parks and Rec.
Which one is better?
Yeah, I'm a Parks and Rec guy.
Who's your favorite on Parks and Rec?
I like what was his I'm so lost since I've seen it though. The kind of strange serial killer guy.
Strange.
Now I'm gonna have to watch this.
Wait, the strange.
Who worked in the office? He worked in Parks. He worked in the office with them. But he was very deadpan in his delivery.
Ron? No,
it's not Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson. Yes.
I love Ron Swanson.
Yes, yes.
Listen, Parks and Rec is fantastic. Parks and Rec is fantastic, but I think as far as shows go, Community did so much weird shit that I think artistically Community's a better show. As far as comedy, Parks and Rec.
I think
guys, we have a bunch of
I prefer 30 Rock. I prefer 30 Rock to both of them, but
30 Rock.
I'm getting into
werewolf bar mitzvah.
I'm getting into it, but I'm not getting into it. But what I will say is this: is if there's no Community, there's no Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right.
I think they borrow. I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine borrows a lot from Community.
If there's no Office, there's no Parks and Rec. If there's no Parks and Rec, there's no nothing. I don't know.
My sister's boyfriend's been on Brooklyn Nine-Nine a couple of times.
Nice.
As who?
He's just a recurring character. I think he's been on maybe 3 or 4 episodes. I haven't watched him, so I don't know.
Oh, nice.
But
I love that show. I think it's great. Okay, Who is better, Steven Seagal or Kevin Costner? I'm assuming this is at football.
I worked with Steven Seagal, so I'm going to say I'm going to go with Steven.
Steven.
Yeah, I worked with him. I did a
Who do you
show with
say?
him called Lawman.
Yeah, Lawman, man.
Yeah. So I helped produce that show.
Although I will say this, that there was a movie early in Costner's career that he did. It was called Fandango.
Oh, Fandango's great.
Yeah,
Great
it's about like college kids and they're like wherever and they bury treasure or something like that. And then 20 years later, they want to go back and find it.
Yeah.
Fandango is a really great movie.
But come on, Out for Justice. Come on, with No Sleep Till Brooklyn is the opening tune. Then he goes, he's driving around, he's looking for Richie. He goes
it's a buddy
that
movie.
Pool ball and beats the crap out of the bowling ball.
Of the Law.
With the pool balls and shit. Yeah.
Under Siege 2, Under Siege 3, Above Siege.
Oh my
okay,
God.
Moving on. Alligator Blood.
Marked for Death.
Marks for Death. Spawny Marks for Death.
Which is obviously filmed in Los Angeles, but it's set in Chicago. It's just like the strangest thing. He's driving along some palm trees all over the place.
It's like the Jackie Chan film Rumble in the Bronx was shot in Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
Okay. So last question here. Which teams are getting relegated? This is our last question. Then we're going to go, guys. Thank you all for being here so much. Which teams are going to get relegated? I think I said it already earlier this season. I think it's going to be Norwich, Watford, and I didn't say Watford? No, I said Norwich, Watford, and Newcastle.
Yeah, I said Norwich, Southampton, and Newcastle.
Ooh, yeah. James?
Because that just like wholesale just selling
Burnley.
You sell off your sell Vestergaard, you sell off Ings.
Yeah.
But
I said the same thing. I think Southampton was on my list too. Norwich, Southampton, Burnley for me.
I so want Burnley to stay up just so
Burnley.
I can hear the pressers from Sam Dyche.
Not me. I mean, I just
want Sam Dyche on a cooking show.
Yeah, they're like the anti-football. Their style is so anti-football. I can't stand it. I can't stand watching them.
Yeah, this is rough now. Like Richard is saying here. Good to see you, Richard. Saying Newcastle takeover worried you anyway, like it has me, as we need 3 teams to walk the plank. I think Leeds will be fine. I think there are 5 or 6 teams at least.
I just if West Ham can survive nearly being relegated and now be considered one of the top spots in the league, Leeds is just fine.
Yeah.
Or Aston Villa, for that matter. I mean, Aston Villa should have been relegated.
Fine.
And they end up staying up, and now they're top 10.
Yeah.
Villa may finish above Arsenal at this point. Like to me, they're a better club.
The claret and blue uniforms, right?
The claret. So last week I was watching the Aston Villa somebody and West Ham somebody, and they were on at the same time.
Yeah,
and they were wearing the exact same uniforms. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Shorts, shirts, sleeves. Exact same and they were going in the same direction.
Yeah, my brother and I were talking about like the history of that color combination. Now we were discussing wondering what the origin of it was, because you see so many teams on all different levels of English football that have that color combination. There are a lot of them. I mean, that's not those aren't. I mean, obviously Burnley's another one. They're all over the place.
Yeah. Well, guys, last question, okay? This one comes from me because Mr. Tom says right here, Saudi Castle need to spend $1 billion in January to improve that defense. So my question to you guys is, what should we refer to them as from here on out? Wait, Saudi Castle or Nudie Arabia? The I don't know.
See, I'm actually thinking
the barcode banshees.
I'm trying to like wrap my head around like Saudi Arabia related phrases with the Magpies.
Ooh, what's Saudi Arabian?
It's like well,
that's not working.
Jordi Arabia.
It's just
Jordi Arabia. That's
Right.
good.
Yeah, Jordi Arabia.
Sandcastle. There you go, Jimmy. Sandcastle.
We have a
Sandcastle.
winner, ladies and gentlemen. The
Barabia
Sandcastle.
codes. Barabia codes.
I really like Sandcastle.
Yeah, Sandcastle's great.
Or Tunes. You have the Tunes there, the Toon Army, the Geordies, the I don't know, Toontown. Yeah.
I like
Toon Bin Laden.
I like Sandcastle. I think that's the winner. That's got my vote at least.
Weapons of Toon Destruction.
Let's not weaponize it.
Well,
let's keep it nice.
They never were, Mark. They never were.
Nice.
Oh, I have a serious note.
Oh, man.
That's
Lolo, on a serious note, I have an appeal to make because the fantasy league. I've been looking at the fantasy league. I rarely chime in on these things, but I look at teams, the makeup of teams, like who players. People have certain players on the team. I'm really disappointed the number of Leeds supporters who have scum players on their fantasy teams. This cannot happen. I'm just telling you right now. So I'm making an appeal to all Leeds supporters to please remove all their scum players from their fantasy teams. This has to happen. Okay, I'm just telling you. No self-respecting Leeds supporter has a scum player on their team, even in fantasy. Even in fantasy. So let's just do this. Okay, let's make a pledge. I never have a scum player on my team. That's been a rule of mine ever since I started playing fantasy. Never had a single scum player.
Okay, Leeds United fans in the audience right now, will you make that pledge with James? Will you pledge to remove all? We are looking for scums it. The scums it. Get all the scum out. We are doing a referendum right now.
Yes.
Vote all the scum off of your team.
And hopefully you've got a couple of free transfers.
Yeah.
Wild card
I know. I spent a free transfer on my first week.
Hey, Mark, as a movie buff, you'll appreciate this. So it's like Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, right? One day a real rain will come and wash the scum off the streets. Well, I'm the real rain, my friends, and I'm washing the scum off the streets. So let's take them out.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, like Bobby's saying, I play for cash, James, no can do. And that's where, like, I do too, but I just can't. Like, I would love to put Son on my team, but I'm not putting a fucking Spurs.
I don't think I have a single Spurs player on my fantasy team. I do have.
Look, Alan Cooper's with you right here. Never play scum in fantasy.
I do have Ronaldo, and he did fuck all for me. He got 2 points. He didn't even start.
Fuckaldo. Capitan Facaldo.
Between that and the last time that we did the last time we did trivia on Happy Hour, we had a category that was Ronald OGs, and Ben Ireland, you're the best because you read it in true fake Sean Connery style. I'll take Ronaldo Jizz.
I'll take Ronaldo Jizz for 500.
It was too much.
All right. Well, James, it's been a lot of fun talking to you. We're well over time.
All right.
But guys, it's been a long week. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Sorry about Monday not happening. Sorry about Tuesday not happening. But work is coming back with a vengeance here in New York. We are opening up like crazy, and productions are being started up like crazy. And
I know what that's like.
And so I'm working a lot. I was with Kenny Loggins last night,
Oh, no way. He's still alive?
Yeah. He was in the danger zone.
I was in the danger zone. I had to wear a mask and everything. Danger zone.
Is he all right, though? Is he all right?
He's all right.
You know, the funny thing is, for us old
and
folks,
then I went and took a poo corner.
For us old folks, always, you know, our parents always thought that Messina was going to be the huge one.
Right.
Because he was huge before.
Oh, because he was cuter.
But he was big before. He wasn't. He was with what fucking he was with a big band before. I forget. Anyway, guys, it's been a whole ton of fun. Tomorrow we will be back at some point tomorrow during the day. Hey,
all right, Travis Bickle. I love it.
There you go, Travis.
If anything, we'll be back at happy hour.
Lewis, by the way, he says you'll never find a musician better at making movie soundtracks than Loggins. I gotta say,
I might go with Danny Elfman on that one.
Danny Elfman, yeah.
Danny Elfman is.
But did Kenny Loggins open it up for him? And he's more of like
I don't know, but like as far as like a former, like, look, I grew up in Southern California as a young lad, so Oingo Boingo was the shit. You know, so I got a piece. I have a lot of love for Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman's fantastic. John Williams, Rob Greenleaf coming in hot. John Williams as well. But those are so different than Kenny Loggins.
That's like orchestration.
Kenny Loggins was in the heyday. He created it.
You say Ennio Morricone, right?
If you're gonna go with John Williams, you got to go with
Ennio Morricone.
That's what Lewis is selling as a composer.
As a composer, but then you gotta go Randy Newman.
Can I just tell you a quick story about him that he told us? He said, Top Gun, they showed the screening of Top Gun. They screened it without any music for a bunch of musicians. And they said, write us some songs. We'll see who gets what. So he was like, okay, everyone's going to write for the intro. Everyone's going to write for this flyover scene. Everyone's going to write for this. I'm going to write for the fucking volleyball scene. And you know what? He wrote the boys, playing with the boys, which is like the song ever as they're in there, like they're playing volleyball in cut-off jean shorts. It's awesome. But
the 80s.
But then, so they gave him that. And then they said, that's awesome. You got it. Here you go. By the way, our title track, like our Danger Zone, we have this song, but we need some help with the lyrics. And they gave him that song. He didn't actually write that. He fixed it up, but that's great. So him doing the jean shorts song,
Bobby got him. That's Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo. He is also an absolute killer film score, but I still got to go with Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Step on a crack, break him on the back.
Yeah. Hey, Rick Wakeman had some good ones, as did Vangelis as well.
Well, guys, we love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out, and thank you for the last 15 minutes of Kenny Loggins trivia. We'll see who I interview next week on.
Can we get?
Ask him to be on the Stoop. Say, hey, Kenny, can you be on the Stoop? We'll see what kind of football. We'll see who he supports.
But then he showed his 75 years where he was like, "Yeah, man, I'd love to
totally do
see
that.
you later." And he just walked away. And I was like,
Kenny Loggins talking football. That would be a classic.
Today I interviewed somebody who's up for 9 Grammys, and I was like, I've never heard of you or seen you in my life. Well, when I wrote this song, I was really inspired by something that happened yesterday. By my time in COVID, I was like, nope.
It totally reminds me of this time. I in another life, I used to be a roadie, and one of the gigs I did was like a summer
happy hour.
I know, I tell you, it was a summer fest with the Little River Band, and we're loading in with the crew and all the equipment, and we're like, do you even know a Little River Band song? And we're like, no, I can't remember any of them. We're backstage while they're performing, and all of us leaning against the wall smoking cigarettes are all mouthing the lyrics. Because like, magically, like, oh yeah, I know this one.
Yep.
It was the weirdest fucking thing.
That's how yesterday was for me. I was like, Kenny Loggins, I don't remember. Danger Zone, maybe. And then the whole interview, he's going, well, when I wrote Danny's song, the first song I wrote when I was 17. Danny's song, nobody knows the Danny song because it doesn't have that in it, but it's the even though we ain't got money, I'm
But that was Loggins and Messina.
No, that was him. He wrote it at 17.
I think
He wrote it at 17. It may have come out as Loggins and Messina.
It's like Paul Simon and
Garfunkel.
Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel, because anyway. I'm not really. Oh, I'm a rock.
I have to tell you all about my. I had to tell you all about my tour experience with Tammy Wynette.
Ooh.
I actually went on tour with Tammy Wynette once.
I did a show with her.
Yeah.
It was at some casino in Nebraska. But
Should
I did. Well,
we should save this for happy hour.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Adios.
James, thank you so much. We'll see you next week for more.
No problem. Leeds.
Stuff.
Fantastic.
And Mark, thank you so much for being here. Sorry I smacked you numerous times.
But that's why I'm on the show.
But you didn't you don't have a bite mark.
I don't have a bite mark.
You just have blood on your pants.
I have a Lolo mark.
Yeah, a little bit of the
Lolo and Mark in the morning.
We love you. We love it. Lolo and Mark in the morning. Love you guys.
Peace,
Thank you
Brooklyn.
so much, John. Love you too. Good night, Stoop.
All right, later.